Hey guys, Taylor here and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you've already been here, thanks for coming back. So in today's video, you guys, I'm coming at y'all with my best of beauty. I will be sharing to you guys the products that I believe really did it for me this year. So the best products for 2021. So if you are interested in seeing, then please keep on watching. Before we start the video, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Please turn your post notifications on so you get notified every time your girl uploads a video, and follow me on Instagram. And with that being said, let's jump right into the video. Alright you guys, so I did this video last year, so I will leave that up above so you guys can check that out, because some of the products that you've seen me use throughout the year, I did mention those last year, so I'm trying not to be repetitive. But I'm going to start with primers. Honestly, the two primers that I discovered this year are both from the drugstore. The first one is from Milani. This is the Skin Queen Hydrating Primer. This is one that I'm not sure if it launched this year, but I discovered it this year. This is a beautiful hydrating primer. It is a thicker primer. It has like a lotiony consistency to it. Not even like a lotion, but more like a moisturizer. That is how thick it is. But when you apply it to your face, it blurs. Like, trust me, it blurs your pores, but at the same time, it hydrates the skin, and the makeup wears really, really well with this primer. Milani is one of those drugstore brands that I feel like it is a little bit pricey, but not too pricey. So this is a really, really good price point for a primer for the drugstore, and it is an amazing primer. If you've been watching my videos, then you know I absolutely love this primer. If you're looking for a really good hydrating primer that is going to hold your makeup all day, definitely try this one out from Milani. The next primer that I have is from NYX. This is the Hydra Touch Primer. This is the hydrating primer. It's a hydrating primer. I believe they have one for pores if you want one for pores. They have one that is mattifying if you're looking for something that is mattifying, but this one is my personal favorite. The consistency for this one is a little bit more liquidy in comparison to like my Fenty Beauty Hydrating Primer, which you guys know I love. So this is a little bit more liquidy, but this is hydration overload. Like, this hydrates the skin. Like with this one, you need a little bit. I think I probably have like 2 or 3 more uses left in this primer. That is how much I love it. The tube looks small, but as I said before, you don't need a lot with this primer. A little bit goes a long way, and it does a really, really good job at just hydrating the skin. It's like a mix of the Milk Hydro Grip Primer and the Fenty Primer. I don't know if I'm making any sense. So you get the grip, you get the hydration, but the consistency is not the same in comparison to those two primers. But I've been really, really enjoying this, and I'm actually really, really surprised that both primers that I love this year are both from the drugstore, because you guys know how I get with primers. Like, I don't really try new primers, but whenever I find a good primer, trust me, it is worth it. Alright you guys, so moving on to foundations. I feel like this category was very, very, very hard for me to narrow down, because I've tried some amazing foundations this year, but I feel like the 3 foundations that I have in front of me are just the best that I've tried this year. And the first one is the Sephora Best Skin Ever. This foundation is that girl. When I tell you, I've put so much people onto this foundation, it's not even funny. It is the perfect foundation. It isn't full coverage, but you get enough coverage. It is hydrating. It is beautiful on the skin. It pairs well with everything that I've tried it with. If I need more coverage and I pair this with another foundation, it doesn't fail. Like, it's just a beautiful foundation. This is amazing. I'm not going to ramble on. I did do a full review on this foundation, so I will leave that up above so you guys can check that out. But it is inexpensive. It's just a beautiful foundation. This is probably in my top 2 foundations that I tried this year. It is that good. So yeah, definitely check this one out from Sephora collection. The next one that I have is from LYS Beauty. This is the Triple Fix Serum Foundation. Y'all, let me tell you, this foundation really, really did something. This is another one that is a really good foundation if you have a dry skin. This is a dry skin girl's best friend. It is a skincare kind of foundation. It isn't full coverage, but it gives you enough coverage. Like the skin just looks like my skin but better when I apply this foundation. It's just a beautiful hydrating foundation. It's another one that wears well with everything that I've tried it with. This is one of those foundations that I reach for when I'm going like on a everyday kind of basis kind of foundation. It's a really good everyday foundation. It is beautiful. This is very glowy. I feel like it doesn't matter what I use this foundation with, my base always turns out to be a nice dewy glowy kind of base, and I've been really loving this foundation. I did do a full face of LYS, so I will leave that up above so you guys can see this foundation in action. And the next foundation that I have, it isn't a foundation but it is a skin tint. This is the Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint. This is in the shade number 20. Let me tell you, I feel like I had a really good skin year this year, so that is why most of the foundations that I mentioned, they aren't full coverage, and I'm okay with that. If you've been watching my videos, then you know that I usually reach for like more full coverage foundations. Like if it's not full coverage back then, I didn't want it, but now because my skin is doing so good, I'm open to try like anything at this point, and this is everything. This feels like your skin. Like it is so lightweight in comparison to the two other foundations that I mentioned. This is a little bit more mattifying. It's not matte, but in comparison to the other two, it is very light on the skin. It blurs your skin. When I say this is so flawless, this is so flawless on the skin. It's not full coverage, it gives just enough coverage. I did do a full review, so I will leave that up above, but this was the best. This is the best foundation product or skin product from Fenty Beauty that I've tried, and I've tried them all. I love the powder foundation as well, but I just feel like this is a lot better. I feel like this is my favorite from Fenty Beauty. So yeah, definitely check this one out. Moving on to concealers. You guys know when it comes on to concealers, just like primers, I tend to use the same concealers over and over. Like once I use all my concealers, I always like just repurchase the same ones because, you know, I just love what I love. But this year I tried two concealers that I really enjoy, and I feel like they're going to join the family. It's going to be concealers that I'm going to continue to repurchase. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch concealers. Love them. Love this. A little bit goes a long way with this concealer. This will last you forever. It's thick but not too thick. Like not thick where it's cakey and creasy, but thick where you get that coverage, very full coverage, so you don't need a lot with this concealer. I always use two concealers, like one to conceal and then one to brighten my under eyes. So for this concealer, I use the shade 16 to brighten and the shade 18 to conceal. I really enjoy this concealer. It wears beautifully with everything else. For a concealer like this, I usually reach for this when I'm wearing something that isn't very full coverage. So if I'm wearing like my NARS soft matte foundation, I probably won't reach for this. I'll go for another concealer. But if I'm wearing like my Fenty Skin Tint or my Pat McGrath foundation that isn't full coverage, I feel like this does the job at just concealing my dark under eyes, my dark circles. And this is just a beautiful concealer. This is another one that I did a review on, so I will leave that up above. Going forward, you guys, if I did a review on the product, I'll just leave the video in the card up above so you guys can see the product in action. But this is a beautiful concealer. The next one that I have is from Sephora collection. This is their gel serum concealer. I don't know if this is a new concealer. I don't know if it came out this year, but I tried it this year. Beautiful. I tried this in a full face of Sephora and I've been really enjoying it. I personally really like the shade 13. I like this to brighten my under eyes. This is another one that I have two shades of, but I really enjoy 13 just to brighten. This is a very lightweight kind of concealer, but it blends beautifully under the eyes and it just looks really good and nice and skin-like. So I've been really enjoying this concealer. Y'all, this year I fell in love with the Sephora collection brand, and take it from me, don't sleep on the Sephora collection brand. Like, it is amazing. I've tried quite a few of their products and trust me, inexpensive, and the products are actually amazing. So please make sure you check out the Sephora Collection brand. All right, y'all, so I'm going in the order that I do my makeup. So I'm going to jump into bronzers. This is another topic that is very touchy because if you've been watching my video since last year, or if you saw the video that I did last year, some of the products that I've been using, I continue to use them because I love them that much. But I did discover a couple new bronzers because of you guys. So I'm going to mention a couple that I really love, the ones that I 10 out of 10 recommend. So the first one is from e.l.f. I did a review on this. This is the Putty bronzer. I personally love the shade Sunkissed. When I tell you, this bronzer is perfect. The name says it all. It's very creamy, blends beautifully into the skin. If I could change anything about this bronzer, the only thing I would change is the packaging. It's just a little bit hard to get your brush in there to apply the product to your face, but it's e.l.f. It is inexpensive, very cheap. So I will keep the packaging because the formula of the product is actually really good. You won't even remember that the package is too small. So this is one that I've been really enjoying this year. I feel like the Drugstore really came through this year. The next one that I have, I believe this one came out this year. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but this is the Danessa myricks Balm Contour in the shade Deep number 1. Obsessed. If you've been watching my videos since I tried this product, you guys know it is so hard for me to put it down. It is a beautiful contour. This is so nice on the skin, very creamy. Depending on what brush you use to apply it, you can get like a super chiseled contour or something that is nice and subtle. I personally use sometimes a dense brush to snatch the face, or I'll go in with a more not too fluffy but fluffy brush to give me that nice contoured effect but not too chiseled. And this is just beautiful on the skin. As I said, it gives a really nice glow to the skin. So I don't know how to explain it, but it gives like a nice dew to the skin, and it's just beautiful on the skin. I've been really enjoying this one from Danessa myricks. And the final cream bronzer that I have, or cream contour, is from Huda Beauty. I am 100% sure that this did not come out this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I discovered this year. This is the Tantour in the shade Medium. Y'all, when I tell you this, I don't know why I didn't try this when it just came out. You guys actually put me onto this and I've been hooked on this since then. Beautiful. It's the perfect, as the name says, tantour. It gives you like that bronzer contour. It gives you literally everything that you could need. It is beautiful on the skin. It is not too red. Like, you get the bronzer undertone. Let me show you in comparison to like the Danessa myricks, so you can see the difference with the undertone. So you can see that the Huda Beauty gives you that red undertone, but it's not too red. So it gives you bronzer without being too red, and that is what I really enjoy about it. And the formula is just beautiful. So definitely obsessed with Huda Beauty Tantour. All right, y'all, so for powder bronzers, I only have one, just because the powder bronzers that I use, I've had them since last year, so I mentioned them in last year's video. So I'm obsessed, still loving my Makeup Revolution bronzer, one of my favorites. But the one that I tried this year, that launched this year, is the Sephora bronzer. This is in the shade 06 Ibiza. I'm not sure if it launched this year, but I discovered it this year when I did that full face of Sephora. Beautiful bronzer. This is a perfect bronzer. This is another one that gives you that reddish bronzer vibe without being too red. This one a little bit goes a long way. Like, you don't need a lot with this bronzer. Very inexpensive, very beautiful. If you want to try a bronzer from Sephora that is not too expensive, like in comparison to like my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, this is very inexpensive. Definitely check this one out from Sephora. This is another one that I think I put a lot of people onto. This is just a beautiful bronzer. Before I do setting powder, I'm going to do blushes. So the first one that I have is from the drugstore. This is the e.l.f. Putty blush. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this came out a couple months before the bronzer. So it did launched this year. I'm not 100% sure, but that is what I think. I think I tried this after the bronzer, or when I ordered the bronzer, I ordered this. That is what happened, but I didn't try it when it first launched, and I absolutely love the blushes from elf. This is just a very creamy, beautiful blush. I have this in the shade, I don't remember what shade this is, but I will link the shade down below. This is a beautiful, look at that, this just screams spring and summer, and the formula is actually very, very creamy, very nice. So if you're looking to try cream blushes and you don't want to commit to the heavier price point, definitely y'all try elf out. Definitely go to the drugstore, because you'd be surprised what is waiting for you at the drugstore. So I've been really enjoying the putty blush from elf. All right, you guys, so after you've tried the elf blush and you feel like you are ready to commit a few more pennies to a cream blush, the next one that I'd suggest is from LYS. This one is in the shade Passion. They have a ton of shades. The formula, top tier, very creamy. This one is like a very skin-like, dewy. All the products from LYS that I've tried, they give you that nice skin-like look with a little bit of glow to it. It's not too much, it's just perfect, and this is one that I really enjoy. If you've tried LYS blush, let me know in the comment section, because their blush formula is actually really good, and they have a ton of shades, but this one is my personal favorite. This one is a little bit deeper than the elf blush. In the pan, when I first got this blush, I remember I looked at it, I was like, oh my god, this is too bright. But when I applied it to my skin, beautiful. It is beautiful. So if you want to try some really nice blushes, definitely try LYS. And after you've tried that LYS blush and you feel like you are ready to become a little bit more bougie and spend that extra bit of coin on a blush, PatrickTa. This brand is slowly making its way into my heart, and I'm here for it. Everything that I've tried from him so far, I'm in love with. I am in love with. I honestly can't wait for him to come up with complexion products, because I just feel like it's going to be good. This is his blush palette. It's Major Headlines blush palette. If you don't want to commit to the blush palette, he sells like some duos, but if you're going to buy the duo, honestly, pick up the blush palette. Like, you save so much more when you get the palette, and trust me, if you pick that duo up and you try it out, you're going to be hooked on his formula, so you're going to end up picking up the palette. So just get the palette and call it a day. This is beautiful. It comes with 3 cream blushes, 3 powder blushes. The formula, amazing. Today I didn't use a cream blush, I just used one of the powder blushes, and it's just beautiful on the skin. The formula is amazing. Like, y'all, PatrickTa, it's pricey, but let me tell you, it is worth every single penny. Trust me. All right, you guys, so that is it for blushes. Moving on to setting powders. I literally have one loose setting powder for you guys. Let me tell you that this is the best setting powder I've tried this year, and I know a lot of you guys are going to agree with me on this. This is the Sephora translucent setting powder. Let me tell you that Sephora did something with this powder. If you've been watching my videos, then you guys know the last time I was this hyped about a setting powder was my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. And this powder, I've been reaching for this a lot more than my Laura Mercier. I love my Laura Mercier setting powder, but this one is a lot more inexpensive. It does the same thing that my Laura Mercier does. It is a dupe for the original Laura Mercier setting powder. The only thing with this powder is I feel like Sephora needs to give us a couple more shades for the deeper girls, or for the girls that don't want a super bright under eye like myself. But this is just a beautiful setting powder. I wish I could show you guys. Let me see if I can show you guys how much I've used. Let me know if you guys can see that, because I've been using this powder. It is just a beautiful setting powder. It wears with everything. Beautiful setting powder. Obsessed with this. This is the best setting powder that I've tried this year. hands down. If you don't own this powder, you need to pick it up. It's very inexpensive as well. Did I say that? But moving on to pressed powders. So I have one pressed powder that I tried this year that I feel like is just the best setting powder that I've tried this year, and this is from Dior. You guys already know I was going to say this. This is the Dior Powder No Powder in the shade 6N. This is just the perfect setting powder. If you are looking for a powder that sets your face without changing the color of your foundation, that just makes your face look so flawless, so airbrush, so beautiful, Dior Powder No Powder. It is a little bit pricey, but definitely once you pick this powder up, you'll understand what I'm saying. It's a very beautiful powder. Like, if you can grab this like when a sale is going on, it is just so good. Probably the best setting powder that I've tried this year. So before I jump into lips and setting spray, I have two eyeshadow palettes that I honestly don't feel like I need to say a lot about, because if you've been watching my videos recently, then you've seen both of these palettes. The first one is from Milani. This is the Gilded Terror eyeshadow palette. Beautiful, a good alternative for the Jackie Aina palette, which I believe is now discontinued. So if you can't get your hands on that palette, then you can definitely pick this one up from Milani. It is not too expensive, and the formula is actually really good. It's just a beautiful drugstore palette. I've been really enjoying this palette. This was my first Milani eyeshadow palette, and after I tried this, I was like, I need to really step into the Milani shadow palettes because they are beautiful. This is just a beautiful eyeshadow palette, and the formula actually took me by surprise. And the next one is the Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey eyeshadow palette. I'm not even going to say anything about this palette, but just in case you haven't seen one of my videos, this is just a beautiful palette. This is everything if you want to try Pat McGrath shadows. This one literally just launched. I am hoping that you can get your hands on it still because it is limited edition. But as I said, if you want to try Pat McGrath shadows, this is a really good way to try it. It is not as expensive as her other eyeshadow palettes, so this is when I tend to grab my Pat McGrath shadows. So I've been really enjoying this one, and I feel like this is one of the best eyeshadow palettes that I've tried this year. I honestly haven't bought like a lot of eyeshadow palettes this year. I know a ton of palettes came out, but I have a ton of shadow palettes, so I didn't feel like I needed to pick up any, but this one just really did something for me. So for setting spray, I only have one setting spray because this is the only new spray that I've tried this year, and this is the Airbrush Flawless setting spray from Charlotte Tilbury. The hype is real about this setting spray. If you've tried it, it's amazing. The thing that I love about this setting spray is it holds your makeup on for hours, but as you guys can see, my face is still giving that nice, it's not dewy, but it's nice and glowy. It doesn't look super matte, and I did use this setting spray today. I've been wearing this face for hours. So what it does, it holds your makeup on for hours without taking away from that glow or that dew. It doesn't make my face look super matte or super dry, if I'm making any sense, but the makeup does last really well, and I've been really enjoying this spray. As you guys can see, I did put a little bit of a dent in it. The only thing with this spray is that the mist, strong. The mist is very heavy, so you don't want to hold it too close to your face. I tend to hold it as far back as possible when I'm spraying it on my face. But other than that, it is a beautiful setting spray. If you've tried the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray and you like it, I feel like this is a really good upgrade to that setting spray, because Urban Decay All Nighter, like once you spray that on, you are instantly matte. With this one, it doesn't feel tight and drying on the skin, but it does what the Urban Decay spray does. So this is a beautiful setting spray. Alright you guys, so finally for lips, honestly, I try a lot of lip products, but I feel like the Maybelline lip glosses this year, like they did what needed to be done, y'all. The drugstore is slowly winning me over. The formula of the Maybelline lip glosses amazing. It's not sticky. It lasts really well on the lips. The color, the pigment is there. The formula is just really, really nice. It is very inexpensive. It is a dupe for the Fenty Beauty gloss bombs. You guys know I love my Fenty Beauty gloss bombs, but I feel like this is just a really, really good alternative if you don't want to spend that extra coin on the Fenty Beauty glosses. And trust me, you are getting the exact same gloss. The formula is that good. All right, so before I mention lipsticks, let me just mention lip liner. I don't think I need to say anything. The Sephora gel liner in the shade Molasses. I use this on my lower lash line. I use this as lip liner. I literally use this brown liner for everything that you can use a brown liner for. It is a very, very long wearing brown liner. Like, as I said, I use this on my lower lash line and it does not move, but at the same time, it is very, very creamy. It is just a nice, rich brown liner. So if you're looking for a really good liner that is not expensive, try the ones from Sephora. Once again, this is the shade Molasses. So for lipstick, I honestly use the same lipsticks over and over, but one that I tried this year that I'm obsessed with is from Huda Beauty. This is their anniversary lipstick. I don't think this one launched this year, but I did discover this year. This is just a beautiful light nude lipstick. So it is not like the perfect nude. It's a little bit lighter than a perfect nude lipstick. Let me just swatch it for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. So as you can see, it's just a little bit lighter. So when I go on top of this with my favorite nude gloss, it just looks perfect. And then it pairs well with a brown liner. Like, it's just a perfect nude lip, if I do say so myself. If you don't mind using a nude lip that is a little bit lighter, then definitely check this one out from Huda Beauty. And the next lipstick that I have is not necessarily the color, but the formula. The Bite Beauty Power Move lipstick. This one is in the shade Hot Tomato. I have a couple other shades, but I recently used this one in my holiday glam. If you haven't seen that, I will leave that up above so you can see this red lip. This is the perfect holiday red lipstick. The formula is amazing. Just do a quick swatch for you guys. The formula is amazing. Like, just look at that red. The formula is just everything, and I just keep saying that because the formula is actually really, really good. So if you are looking for lipsticks, definitely try the Bite Beauty Power Move lipsticks. It's matte but not drying. It's very creamy but gives you that matte look. It's just beautiful on the lips, and I really, really enjoy this one. All right, you guys, so that is everything that I have. I will do like a body care favorites for you guys and include like my favorite body care products from this year, but I just didn't want the video to be too long. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section the products that you believe did it for you this year, or just let me know if you've tried any of the products that I mentioned in today's video and what you think about them. Once again, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.